This video is about food propaganda from after 1950. The previous video I did was from 1912 to 1950. But let's just take a look at 1919, and you can see again, you can check out all these images at plenteousveg.com if you want to go there and look at these, at this great sequence of images. So this is 1919, and we're told by the USDA that we should be feeding our children simple suppers, bread, milk, and plain cookies. So this is 1919, and then you would think 100 years later the recommendations would be different, and they're kind of not different. So let's move ahead to the biggest approach that was taken by the USDA and many other organizations would be the food guide pyramid. So here is the pyramid, and notice what rests at the bottom. What rests at the bottom is bread and also refined grains. So bread and cookies can be viewed as being the base of this pyramid. And they want us to eat 6 to 11 servings of bread, cereal, rice, and pasta per day. And many of the recommendations would say out of the servings of grains, at least 3 should be whole grains, which means that permitted are many refined grains, which is just absolutely shocking. And interestingly, if you look at the diabetes food pyramid, as it's called, and here it is, the diabetes food pyramid, and notice what they want, the exact same thing. And they say this diet will give you less than 6 grams of sodium per day, which is less than 6,000 milligrams of sodium per day, which is a shockingly high amount of sodium compared to what was consumed historically. Literally, under 1,000 milligrams or 1 gram of sodium was consumed per day, and about 7,000 milligrams or more of potassium was consumed per day. So this particular food pyramid is the food pyramid that people tend to consume to get diabetes because they overconsume the bottom rung of the pyramid. Now, what a good diabetes food pyramid would look like, or really a good food pyramid itself, would be right down here on the bottom left. You can see this is a much better looking pyramid where you see vegetation massively rules. Now, they don't have meat here, and of course you want to eat meat, that's fine, and there are eggs there, which is great to see eggs there. But here's your bread in the middle, which is fine. The rest is vegetation. So this looks very similar like the cover of the DeFlame diet book. So let's look at how we're told we should use the food guide pyramid. So this is from you can actually, I'll just right to the top real quick, you can see what this title is. This is Using the Food Guide Pyramid, a resource for nutrition educators. This is published back, I think, 1998, so we're going to go back to page 28 where I was just from. Here's that picture again. So there it is, the Food Guide Pyramid. There we are. And again, 6 to 11 servings of bread, cereal, rice, and pasta per day. Now, this would be reasonable if it was true that one could not be healthy without this bottom rung, but we know that the Arctic Eskimos, none of this, and they're totally healthy. You go down to Catawba, I've talked about the Catawbans before in New Guinea, and they eat none of this. Their calories come from largely sweet potatoes, yams, taro root, and fruit. So this bottom rung doesn't exist, and they are disease-free. And you go to the Arctic Circle, and most of their calories are fat with some meat protein, and they are also chronic disease-free. So this pyramid is completely ridiculous. So down to page 28, and let's look at how we're told we should do this. This is the recommendation. Page 28, let me get there, 16, zipping down. Bear with me for a second. I wanted to show you the name of this book. Okay, here we are, page 28. So what is this? This is a recommendation for 5 days with food pyramid meal suggestions, day 1 through 5, if your caloric intake is 2,200 calories. And remember, back in 1919, we were told that we should be feeding our children to make them grow strong and healthy and smart, bread, cookies, and milk. So what are we told by the Food Guide Pyramid from the 90s? And this is what we're told. Day 1, eat cereal, bread, margarine, jelly, That's basically a breakfast of, and here's your milk. So milk, bread, and well, margarine jelly on top of any of this represents sort of a cookie-like version of things. So this is the same recommendation that was given in 1919. So let's look at how much refined calories were allowed if we just cruise through breakfast. So we got so we have oatmeal, which is of course a whole grain, which is fine, but white toast, margarine, jelly, milk. Next day, what are we given? We're given bread and milk. You have your grapefruit juice, you have a bread and milk. Next day, cereal, bread, margarine. Since when is margarine a healthy choice? I mean, how absurd is this? Day 4, whole grain cereal flakes, bagel, cream cheese, milk. Next day, I mean, how weird is this? How weird is this? I mean, why not have more than a quarter of a cantaloupe if you want? So we're going to have whole wheat pancakes, blueberry sauce, margarine, and throw a turkey patty on top of it. I mean, this is just weird, weird menu choosing anyway. So let's go to day 1 and through day 5 with our lunches. What are we going to get? We're going to get bread with their tuna salad. We're going to get 1 cup of mixed green salad. 1 cup of salad is like 10 calories. It's like nothing. So you're going to get bread and chocolate mint pie. That's the recommendation. Next day, hard rolls, margarine, oatmeal cookies, milk. So what do we see here? Bread, cookies, milk. It hasn't changed in almost 100 years. Next day, taco, which is sort of bread, and then here are your cookies. No milk for lunch. Day 4, lunch, milk, mayonnaise, bread. Next day, what do we have here? Wheat crackers, milk. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. And then dinner, savory sirloin. Okay, we're going to get some corn, zucchini combo, 3/4 of a cup. Why not 5 cups of vegetation? Why are we giving less than 1 cup of vegetables? It's ridiculous. And 1 serving of tomato lettuce salad is another 10, 15 calories, nothing. You're going to get more calories in this 1 tablespoon of French dressing than you're going to get in the vegetation. But what are we told to have as well? Bread and dessert. Bread and a dessert. So for dinner, what are we going to have here? We get margarine, muffins, more margarine, dessert. I mean, peach crisp, margarine, muffins, and more margarine. How is this healthy? And so for day 3, we have, let's see, white rolls, margarine, and then minted pineapple chunks. I don't know how they make that. If they put mint on fresh pineapple, that would be good. I got tons of mint growing in my yard, by the way. It just grows like weeds, actually, which is kind of cool. Beautiful ground cover. Day 4, what are we going to get? Margarine, roll, more margarine. So look at all these servings of margarine we're given. We know that margarine is pro-inflammatory. I mean, it's terrible, terrible, terrible fat calorie source. Day 5, rice, hard rolls, margarine, ice cream, ice milk. Let's look at snacks for these 5 days. So cookies, milk. Is there any bread here? No. Peanut butter, fresh peach. Ooh, look at this, 1 whole fresh peach. Amazing. So next day, snack, bagel, margarine. You get a pair. So wheat crackers, cheddar cheese, and then more bread. And the next snack, now, who by the way, wants to have a snack of like a turkey sandwich snack? And it is weird. So the next day, you get your no salt added vegetable juice. Why not make some fresh vegetable juice? Roast beef sandwich, 2% milk fat. So so bread and milk again. And the next day, soft pretzel. Now this is what we're recommended to consume. This is supposed to be a healthy diet according to the food propagandist. There is more margarine and bread calories here than the average person who's trying to be healthy, whether they're on so-called paleo, so-called plant-based diet, so-called ketogenic diet. If you're in any of those, you're going to get more bread and margarine calories than any of those diets would get in a year. And the same thing for the DeFlame diet. if you're taking the DeFlame approach, which is avoiding sugar, flour, and refined oils, you would lose probably half or more of the calories in this ridiculous food pyramid diet that's based upon margarine, margarine, cereal, bread, and desserts. So this is the nature of food propaganda to the present day. They change the names a little bit, but for the most part, it remains the same. They pretty much expect people to continue living like we were recommended back in 1919. Eat your bread, milk, and plain cookies. I would suggest envision the picture of the DeFlame diet book with the bread, milk, and cookies on the bottom of the front page of the book, which is really French fries, white bread, and a cupcake. And wash those calories away. Replace those calories, which are nutrient-free calories, with vegetation.